Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a pretty radical new game plan for this new age of AI. And here's the twist, it's not really about piling on more tech. It's actually about getting back to something way more, well, human. So let's jump right in.
All right, let's just start by calling it what it is. I think a lot of us in the business world feel this, right? It's this constant low-level buzz of anxiety about technology. You feel like you're on a treadmill that's just getting faster and faster, and you're sprinting just to stay in the same place. The landscape is always changing, and the noise, well, it's just deafening.
Okay, so to cut through all that noise, here's our plan. We're going to walk through 5 key steps. First, we'll nail down the real problem. Then we'll look at a massive shift that's happening right now. And then we'll build out the solution, piece by piece, from the technology all the way to the people who use it.
All right, part 1, the age of anxiety. This really gets to the heart of the problem. That feeling that maybe, just maybe, we're all chasing the wrong thing.
So, what's the big mistake everyone's making? Well, the common advice is just go faster, get more tech. But that's where we're getting it wrong. The real problem is when we take these shiny new AI toys and just, bolt them onto our old clunky systems, crossing our fingers and hoping it all works out. And let's be honest, that's just a recipe for a whole lot of frustration, not the transformation we're looking for.
Okay, so that brings us to the next big idea. This is where things get really interesting, because the fundamental rules of the game have changed. There's a new gatekeeper in town, and believe me, it plays by a completely different set of rules. Think about it. For the last 2 decades, the whole game was about Google, right? It was basically a huge digital phone book. Your goal was simple: get seen, get on that first page. But AI, well, AI is a totally different beast. It's not a phone book. It's more like a trusted advisor. You don't ask your advisor for a list of 10 options, do you? No. You ask for the one, best recommendation. And just like that, the goal isn't visibility anymore. It's authority.
And this massive shift gives birth to a whole new field, Answer Engine Optimization, or AEO. And this is a total game changer, folks. The new goal isn't just about being found. It's about becoming the AI's go-to expert. You want to be so trusted that when someone asks a question, your business is the single definitive answer.
And this quote just nails it perfectly. You see, the game is no longer about ranking for some generic keyword like retirement planner in Melbourne. Nope, it's about being the absolute definitive answer to a really specific, nuanced question. And to do that, well, that takes a whole different level of real expertise. So the big question is, how do you actually build that kind of authority? Well, it takes a new way of working. You have the human expert, let's call them the manager. They are the strategic brain, the one who defines the source of truth. Then you have the executor, that's the AI and the team. Their job is to take that deep human knowledge and just amplify it, turning it into content that literally teaches the AI gatekeeper. And this is absolutely crucial. You cannot game this system. You don't trick this new gatekeeper with your old SEO hacks. It doesn't work that way anymore. You have to genuinely teach it by consistently putting out incredibly valuable, authoritative stuff. And every single time you do that, you're building what you can think of as a powerful digital reputation moat around your business. Okay, so if the name of the game is teaching the AI and building authority, how in the world do we do that? The answer is this really cool new framework called the human algorithm. And at its heart, it's all about a return to the one currency that, let's face it, has ever really mattered: trust. So this whole blueprint, this human algorithm, it stands on 3 pillars: trust, speed, and personalization. And notice these are timeless, right? The idea isn't to replace people. It's to use tech to supercharge what we humans are already good at and deliver these 3 things on a scale we've just never seen before. But let's get real for a second. Here's a hard truth. You can't just slap trust on a billboard. You can't run a marketing campaign about how trustworthy you are if, behind the scenes, your operations are a slow, clunky, impersonal mess. It just doesn't work. Trust has to be earned, moment by moment, through amazing experiences. And for that, you need a rock-solid foundation.
And that foundation is what we're talking about next. It's a modern tech setup called the digital core. The best way to think about it is like the central engine of your business, the thing that actually builds and then broadcasts that trust.
And this core isn't just one thing. It's a whole ecosystem where everything works together. So you've got your website, that's the hub, it's the library of your expertise. Then your CRM is like the nervous system. It keeps track of every customer interaction. Your social media profiles, those are your embassies, sending out trust signals. The AI bots are your front line, giving you that instant speed.
And finally, AEO is the translator, making sure the AI gatekeepers can actually understand how smart you are.
Now, once you have this digital core humming along, you can start focusing on the one speed metric that actually matters: time to resolution. And look, this isn't about how many rings it takes to answer the phone. No, this is about the total time, the total effort a customer has to put in to get their problem completely 100% solved. That's the real definition of speed.
So how do you shrink that time? Your team needs to develop something called modality fluency. That's a fancy way of saying they need to be masters of using the right tool for the right job. You know, using your voice for a quick update, letting an AI structure your notes, and then using a keyboard for the really precise, detailed stuff. It's this hybrid way of working that just absolutely demolishes friction.
And what does the customer get out of all this? They get an experience that just builds massive amounts of trust. It's what you'd call a channelist experience, where they never, ever have to repeat themselves. It doesn't matter if they talked to a bot yesterday, sent an email this morning, or on the phone with a human right now. It's one continuous conversation. It feels totally effortless and incredibly personal.
But look, you can have the most advanced digital core on the planet, but at the end of the day, it's just hardware. All that amazing tech is completely useless if you don't have the right people and the right culture to run it. Think of it this way. Your technology is the hardware, but your culture is the operating system.
So how do you build that kind of culture? It really comes down to three things. First, you need psychological safety. Your team has to feel safe enough to try new things, and even fail sometimes. Second, you've got to invest in continuous training so they can actually get good at that modality fluency we talked about. And third, and this one is a biggie, it's totally non-negotiable, you have to change the scoreboard. You have to change what you reward.
And that means it's time to throw out the old scoreboard. Seriously, we have to stop obsessing over those vanity metrics. You know, things like clicks and how many leads we got this month. Instead, we need to start celebrating the things that actually build trust. Things like, did we solve the problem on the first try? What's our customer lifetime value? What's our net promoter score? Those are the numbers that really matter.
Because ultimately, your success in this new world really hinges on one single thing. The most critical integration you will ever do. It's not connecting Salesforce to your marketing platform. It's integrating your technology with your people, making sure they work together seamlessly. And here's why this is so important. Technology is becoming a commodity fast. Soon, every single one of your competitors is going to have the same powerful AI tools that you have. So when the playing field is level, what's your advantage? The only one left, the only real moat you can build is the one thing they can't copy and paste: a business and a culture that is just built from the ground up to deliver an exceptional human experience.
And so all of this leaves every single leader out there with one big defining question for the road ahead. And you should really ask this about your own organization. Is the core of our business, I'm talking our tech, our processes, and our culture, is it truly built to earn, to keep, and to amplify human trust? Because at the end of the day, that is the only algorithm that's ever going to matter.